Howdy y'all. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to try to do a playthrough of Honey Buzz here. I have not played this game yet. This is my first time to play the game. I'm basically just going to... I've read through the rule book. I'm going to try it solo here. So we'll get this solo playthrough. After reading through the rule book, I do believe this is one of those games that I would enjoy more with an opponent, but we'll see if the bot will basically be activating that for me. Thought about switching these out to a different color, which I might do. I know they give these, but they kind of blend in there. Yeah, those stick out a lot more. I just set up with the base game, not the advanced rule. In advanced, these things will be upside down and it's more of a memory thing. If you look on Board Game Geek, one of the options it chooses or one of the mechanics it mentions is memory, and it's if you play the advanced mode, because these pollens here, or the honeys that these pollens make, will be upside down, and when you move your bee to them, you would look and see if it's one that you can pick up or use, and you would know where they're at, and you can move around on here and do it. Since it's my first time to play, and it recommended it, and I just went with the basic game, which has got these face up, and we'll get to how those kind of work. Also, your scout starts in one of these 4 spaces. I just did a number between 1 and 4, and it happened to start there. We'll see. I think that just means I get to move in different and try to get these pollens. Also, when you set up the game, you set up starting with if you are playing a 2-player version of the game, which means all of these start out 1 lower on the market, and these are what these are worth. These little honeys, these are the 4 different type of honeys that can be made from the pollen. These components came with the game, which are kind of rubbery and nice. And then the deluxe components basically replaced these little things for these little things, which are like nice little bags of the pollen, which is kind of cool. We already randomized these. These are the orders. I see there's a little bit of glare here. I'm hoping. I noticed a lot of times when I'm filming, it'll show glare on the small screen on the camera, but it usually comes in a little bit better. If not, sorry about that. I'll at least put these up here for the first part. So this one's looking for 2 of the rosemary honey for 7 victory points. These are orders you can fulfill. This is looking for 1 of the acacia. I think that's how you say it. I'll look that up later. And a cherry blossom for 8 victory points. And this one's looking for a rosemary. Rosemary and a cherry blossom for 7 points. The top ones are small orders. The 2 on bottom are larger orders. There's 2 things that can trigger the end of the game. One of them is that 2 of these stacks are emptied in fulfilling orders. The other thing that can trigger the end of the game is if 4 of these 5 resources are on the bottom rows that they could be on. And we'll show that as one of the actions that can be done, and we'll go through that during the action step. So that's everything about this board over here. Here, this is going to be you building your honeycomb, or I guess your hive, and depending on how you build it, it's going to trigger certain actions. And these are the way you build it, is by placing your worker bees on these things and getting more of these honeycombs to add to this to trigger stuff to get more stuff. Like I said, we'll go through all that. I basically just went ahead with the starter one that they mentioned for starting out, and it just tells you how to start out with your unique honeycombs. So we'll see how that plays out. And it didn't say, but I'm assuming I still start with just 1 bee. The first player, if you're playing multiplayer, starts with 1 bee and 5 money. I wish they had metal ones of these, but the money is basically like these acorns, and then they got the ones are these leaves, and then they got a 20 and a 10. I wish these were metal. That would be cool, I would think, but I also understand that's a lot more that is needed. Some other things that were different in the deluxe components is it replaced this little fan, which was just a cardboard punch out before, and then this thing, which is the bee that comes over here. All right, and then it replaces, which isn't needed in the solo play, but the first player marker with an actual wooden. So, all right. So basically we're gonna keep going until one of those two end conditions I mentioned are out. I take a turn, and then we have a deck that basically is gonna move these drones around and do other things that could also trigger the end of the game the way I understand it. But these drones are basically making it to where I cannot use these spots. They're actually lazy bees. If you play the other game, if you play with multiplayer, it does work a little different. And that is that you can still use these spaces, you just have to use more bees. But the way I understand the solitaire is those spots just cannot be used, period. So it makes me have to work until those bees move off of there or work around the lazy bees. All right, one other thing I have to figure out is, so the victory point conditions are different in this game, or in the solo play. In here, in the multiplayer, you'll have conditions that get you victory points or money, and you have to see if you can get that much money, and then at the end of the game, whoever has the most money wins. In the solo play, you choose a difficulty level that you're going to try to trigger and get to. And each of these have a thing, like this one says 3 nectar of any one type. And then I get a certain number of points equal to the nectars I have of, 3 nectars of any one type. So 3 nectar of any one type, and then total orders, and how many I pull off on that, I get up to 15 points. And total empty cells up to 15 points. So I can score 45. So if you look at the difficulty levels here, I was going to choose adult because I'm an adult, but 40 seems pretty rough, especially since I haven't played the game before, so I'm not. But just because I haven't played the game before, we'll go ahead and we'll be a larva. Or do I go pupa? I'm going to go pupa. Yeah, screw that. We're going to go for 35 points. So if we get 35 points, then we actually get the score up. So it's going to be a little rough for us to do that, but let's try it and see if we can't pull this off. So on your turn, you get to choose to do one of two things. You can either place a worker bee out on one of these ones that aren't taken up by the lazy bees, and you can get one of these to add to your honeycomb. The only difference is if you choose you want this one, you have to pay 5 money in order to get it. So for your turn, you can either choose to place on one of these and get one of those to add to here, or you can take all of your workers back. Since I don't have any workers to take back, of course, the thing I'm going to choose to do for my turn is to place my 1 bee to get me something for my hive. Sorry, I just realized because I decided to start with this randomly, he is in a terrible spot for what I want to do. But I did it randomly, so that's the way it goes. So basically the hard decision I have is whenever you choose to get one of these, when you get one of these, you're going to, and I'm just going to use this example, I'm not saying I'm taking it, but you're going to try to get empty spaces inside your honeycomb, because anytime you create an empty space, you get to trigger all the, sorry, not sure what those are called. You get to trigger all the little benefits that are inside, that surround that empty space. Action icons, hey, that probably. So like in this case, if I place this, since I made an empty cell now that is surrounded on all sides, I get to trigger all 3 of these actions that show pictures here, and each of them have something that they do, and I get to choose which order to trigger them in. So the 6 actions that can happen are forage. So anytime I trigger that action because I made an empty space, it lets me move my bee. So like if I trigger that action, I get to move him 1 space, and he has to move in, or I guess he can move up there, I guess. They have to go orthogonically. It cannot be diagonal. So, and then I can move them an additional space for every 2. It says coins, and that's like I showed you how the coins look. For every 2 coins I spend, I can move him up to 2 more spaces, and wherever he ends at, I can pick up that type of pollen as long as it meets the requirement of the cell I'm trying to put them in. Which, if you look at this, if I were to and put this one down, it's got all orange there. So that means if I want to put a pollen in there, I would have to put one like this one that has all the sides like that. And then I can put that pollen in there. So that's what forage allows me to do if I trigger that action. Another one is produce, which is like the little fan. In that case, I get to put my little fan down in between. This one's a little bit more complicated. This one you want to set up later because you want to put it between 2 pollens that you've made, and it will produce honey for those pollens. So like if I had an empty cell here and here with the pollen in them, and I trigger the fan action, I'd put the fan down and it would let me trigger all of them. So yeah, if I could get all 3 of these as empty cells with pollen in them, or I guess make them empty cells, then put pollen in them, and then put the fan down, it would literally make honey in all those, which would let me fulfill the orders that we're trying to fulfill. So that one's a cool action that we know we're going to be working towards. Another one is called the market. And what it does is it has to do with this market here. It's either I fulfill the orders, so if I have the honey available to basically fulfill one of these orders, I can just turn in that honey and get this card, which gives me victory points. Plus, when I do those victory points, there's an action on each of these that it lets me trigger also. One of them making the fan to make more honey. This one letting me move my bee to get more pollen. Or this one, which is the market step again. So it means I'd be able to take this plus do a market step. So I can fulfill another order, or another step you can do in the market step is you can sell resources to the market. So if I have these honeys or if I have pollen, I could sell either a pollen or one type of honey to the market, and I get money equal to what row that these are in. But the second I sell, it doesn't matter how many I sell of it. So if I have 3 pollen and I sell 3 pollen, I'll get 6 for each pollen I sell. But whatever resource I choose to sell will go down. Which, remember, one of the end game conditions is when 4 of the 5 resources are worth the lowest they can be worth. The other one that makes a lot more sense, this one's an easy one. If I trigger that one, it just lets me take a bee from the supply, which I have 9, and go here. They sit in the new bee area, but when I go to pick up, I can basically take them, and it gives me more bees to put out here to get more honeycombs. Accounting, when I trigger that one, just gives me 5 money, which you may need more money so you can move your bee around to get to a pollen that you need. Or remember that money is basically the victory points of the game. I mean, there's other things that get you victory points too, but that's what your goal is, to have a bunch of money. So, and in here, I'm assuming it's going to be only me fulfilling the orders, hopefully. I'm not sure about that. We'll see. And then decree is pretty simple. The decree one, that's the one that costs you 5 just to buy it. But when you trigger it, you get to trigger any one of these things. So, seems pretty cool. So that's the hard decision I'm having right now, is which comb I want to put down to start setting up for stuff. And of course, I cannot choose the one that lets me go to the market, and I cannot choose the money or the decree one because the lazy bee's on them. And I actually spoke wrong earlier. I said I could pay 2 coins to move it up to 2. I pay 2 coins. So after I move him, I could pay 2 coins to move him 1 extra space. So if I wanted to get him here, say, 1 forge means he'd move there, and then I'd have to pay 4 coins to get him there. I think I want more worker bees. Yeah, let's do this. This will let me get an extra bee anyways. So I'm going to choose to put a bee down there, which means I get this. Now when I place this, there are white sides, yellow sides, and orange sides. The yellows have to line up with the yellows. So basically I could do this. Yeah, I think I'd do this. So Sorry, ooh, this is moving around weird. Gotta get used to it. All right, so I'm gonna place there. So now that I have an empty cell, I get to trigger these in whatever order I want to trigger them in. So we'll go ahead and trigger the easy one first, which is put another bee over here. I have 2 forages and I have a decree, which means I can do any one of the actions I want to. So that one was to get me the extra bee. These are forages. So we're gonna go ahead and move my bee with a forage. And then now I see if I have any, since I moved my bee, I could check, do I have any of those empty cells? I do not, because the only empty cell I have is 4 oranges on one side and then 2 whites on this side. And this is, you look at this one, it's 2 oranges and a white opposite sides. So I cannot do that. Now I could pay 2 to move it up to here, but I still have an extra movement from my forage over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use that other free movement on the forage here. And then not gonna pay anything else because I do have an empty cell there and I can fill it with that. So we will go ahead and take that. We will place it in there. And actually I did make one mistake. Well, the first time when I moved this bee here, since I did not take that pollen and I did not pay to move him anymore and he wasn't gonna take that pollen, I actually get 1 pollen for free. So 1 pollen for free. We'll put my resources, put it there. Oh, I still got one more thing to do. So I did both my actions. The last one I have is that decree where I can do any action I want to. All right, I think I'm just gonna do my other action and have him, I'm just gonna put my money and my resources right there. Oh, yeah, I'm moving all types of stuff around, whatever. I think I'm gonna use my other action just to use it to get another bee. So that's all my actions triggered. That should be the end of my turn. So now we go to the, I was about to say bad guy's turn, but nope, we go to the lazy bee's turn, or the drones. All right, so this is the drone deck. So we're gonna figure out what they do. So we flip over the top card to the woodland side. It says I choose one of the, it's basically order card. It means I have to, so yes, they're getting rid of one of the order cards. That sucks. I know it's worth the most victory points, but I'm not even working on that kind of honey, so we will get rid of this one. And we flip this one up. Ugh, that hurts. And then now we look at this one. It says decree and counting, and it's showing these. So it's saying this bee, it's either gonna look at this drone or this drone, and it's gonna choose where they go or where they stay. In this case, it says the decree and accounting space, which is this one. So it means that that bee is the one that's gonna do any moving if it's gonna move at all. In this case, it goes to the decree and counting. It's already there, so that's it. It doesn't move, it stays there. Being a lazy bee there, just destroying my victory point conditions by making it harder for me to get honey. Way to go, you stupid drones. Yep, it's just back and forth, just me building my honeycomb and him shooting to the end of the game and getting in my way. All right, so like I said, for my turn, I have 2 options. I either put down any worker bees to do stuff on my honeycomb, or I pick up my workers. I have no bees to set out, so I pick up my workers, or recall workers as it's called. All right, so that was my turn, so he's about to just do some more damage, I'm assuming. And I'm sorry these aren't sleeved up. I actually realized I need to, like I just did the unboxing on this. So, and if you watch my unboxing video, I talk about how they told me the cards were supposed to be one size, but I think because of the thickness of these cards, they're too, I got to get a sleeve that's just a little bit bigger. They just would not go in there without, in my worry, without stretching out the sleeves or maybe even damaging the cards. So I'm gonna check to see if I can't find another sleeve. All right, so for his turn, what I'm supposed to do when it says that is it's talking about acacia honey. So I either choose to move this down by 1 value, or I get rid of one of the nectars closest to me of that type. So I'm just gonna choose to get rid of that and remove it from the game. And then we look here, It means this bee on this side because it's got that action token, and he moves there and shuts down that take tile spot. All right, goes back to my turn. Now I have workers to do stuff with. Yeah, I'm gonna choose to get this one. I'm gonna place it like such, which makes me an empty here. So I got 4 actions to choose and in what order I want to do them in. I got the fan, got the market, got the forage, and then one of my choice. I'm gonna trigger the forage action first. I'm gonna move him here, which ends me on a pollen. So I will take that pollen, fill it into the gap that I have there. I'm going to choose to fan, so I set my fan on any space I want to, and that's this action. I did this one, now I'm doing this one. I can set it on any spot I want to, and when I do, it creates each spot that I have pollen. It's going to create the, or not pollen, sorry, nectar. It's going to create the honey that is there. So in this case, if I place it there, which it could be there or there, it's going to make those honeys for me. So it makes me this honey and this honey. And then after it does that, I put it back. Now if I had one of these filled, I wouldn't be able to use it. So I want to make sure to be able to use those honeys. I'm going to go ahead and go to the market step, which is our market action, which is this one. So in that case, I can either sell what I have and devalue it, or I can pull off an order. And since I need a lot of orders and he's getting rid of them, there's only 9 out there. He got rid of one of them already. And if I want to maximize my points, I got to be able to get 15 or 6 of them. So I need to get busy. So I'm going to go ahead and fulfill this order, which is the 2 honeys that I happen to have. So right now I have to get rid of 1 rosemary honey and 1 cherry blossom honey, which I just made. And so that's going to be 7 victory points at the end of the game. Basically, I have to do the market step. I don't have a choice. I have to do, whenever you do these, you have to do whatever action is down here, which is the market step. This is a fan, and this is the forage. But when you do it, you have until the end of your turn to do it. So I have until the end of my turn to do that market action. And I have another decree to do whatever I want. I have the, let's do the decree one. So he's going to move. So because I don't move him and I'm not taking that, I have no empty space to put that that nectar, that means I get another pollen. All right, so I did all my actions that were triggered for taking the tile, but I still have one more I have to do, which is the market step again. I don't have any orders I can fulfill, so I have to sell something. So I guess I'll sell my pollen, which will devalue it, but before he devalued, it was at 6, so that means I get 12 for the 2 pollen that I sold. So that was all my actions. I completed them. We flip over this large order. So we go to Lazy Bee, or the drone bees. We flip this over, Wildflower. It's the same one as that other one, where basically I have to devalue the Wildflower, honey, or I have to get rid of the nearest one, which would be that one. I'm just going to get rid of the nearest one. I mean, as much as that one would be nice, I'm going to get rid of it. And then it's the produce, so this moves there to where I cannot get the produce. And then we go back to my turn. I just figured out why even in solo play you need multiple bees. So normally in normal play, if you want to place bees, like say I wanted to get this one again, since I have 1 bee here, I would have to create what's called a beeline, which means if I wanted to do that action again, I'd have to place 1 more than the highest beeline that's there. So this beeline is 1, so I'd have to do a beeline of 2. And then if I wanted to place there again, I have to have a beeline at 3. So while it's nice that, you know, I can just do these actions because they're open, but down the road I may need to do the same action back to back, and I can't do it because I'm limited by the bees that are there. So that I'm assuming I have to follow that rule. like this drone one just shutting these spots down. But like for instance, since I'm on this spot, if I wanted that spot again, I would have to make a beeline to do it. So I think I'm going to place here and take one of these. Place it like this. Hence, got an empty. Since I have an empty, I have these 3 actions, which this one's easy, not gonna really make an effect. Just adds a bee in there. Now I have the decree one and a forage one. So I'm going to forage and move, and then I'm going to pay 2 to move him another 1. Follows there. If I want, I could take that pollen. I will. And put it in the spot. Then I have one more decree that I can do. I'm going to use the produce. Choose that. Oh, as I just destroyed my hive. To do the produce, put it right there, which will let me pick or produce those 3 honeys. So get 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. And then that goes away. And that's all 3 of the actions. So it goes to his turn, or the drone's turn. Acacia. So devalue that or get rid of the nearest one. Yep, I'm just going to get rid of it. And then, well, I don't want to lift it up so I don't see what's underneath it, but he's going to take up that spot. So pretty much on my turn, the decision I have to make is to either get one of these or pick my workers up. I think I'm gonna go ahead and place here, and I am gonna pay the 5 and get the royal decree. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Oh, let me get that all on camera, sorry. So that did not do an empty space, so that ends my turn. We go back to the drone's turn. So I can see now it's pretty quick. We know what Cherry Blossom does. Cherry Blossom means I have to devalue the Cherry Blossom or get rid of the nearest Cherry Blossom, which would be that one or that one. We'll get rid of a Cherry Blossom. I do not see myself go in this direction, so we'll get rid of that Cherry Blossom. And then the card shows here is a produce. So it means the one on here goes to produce. He's already there. So it goes back to my turn. My turn's going to be quick and easy because I have no bees to place. So we just pick up our bees. And then we go back to the drone. The card we flip up is Rosemary. So devalue the Rosemary or get rid of the nearest Rosemary. I want that nearest Rosemary, so unfortunately we're going to devalue the Rosemary. And then he covers up the new bee, which he is already there on that side. So back to my turn. So yeah, it can get pretty quick here. This may be a mistake, but I'm gonna go ahead and place here and get this one and place it here, which makes an empty cell. So I got 4 actions to do here. I have a forage, I have a marketplace, I have the accounting, a decree. But we'll do the accounting because the accounting is easy. I get 5. Do need this, so we are going to forage. So we move there. I do want that one, so I will take it. It goes here. And I still have a decree and a market. Yes, I'll zoom out a little bit. We will go ahead and do the market. We're going to get this one, since that's the 3 honeys I have. So 1, 2, 3. So we got 2. Of course, total order says 0 to 3 is -5, so I still got to at least get 2 more orders done. And so now I have a decree I have to do, which is anything, but I also have to do, you have to do another marketplace. And then I still have a decree, so I'll use the fan to make honey there. And I'm going to choose to do cherry blossom. So I'm selling my cherry blossom. I have 1 to sell, which gives me 6. And then it devalues the cherry blossom. Kind of wish they had a little thingies or something where you can remember. I mean, you should just remember each of the things you need to trigger off, but something where you can remember what actions you did and did not do yet. But yeah. All right, so let's flip over this last order here in the market one. Here we go. All right, his turn is wildflower. We just talked about this. So do I devalue the wildflower? I mean, it is way over here. I'm going to have to get way over there. I'm going to devalue the wildflower. I'm not worried about victory points at this point. The thing it shows here is forage. Fortunately, that's the one I probably would have chosen now that I realize I need it. So we go back to my turn. We're going to place there. We're going to take the marketplace. All right, so we got 3 we have to trigger here. I'm definitely gonna, you know what? I don't have anything else to use them on at the moment. So I got this action, I need to do this one. It ain't that I forget. I just also want to help be able to look at it and think of my actions out and be able to show on the camera. So I got those 3 actions to do. One's a forage, one is a market, and one is the produce. So we have a forage one. It does go in a direction I really don't want to go in, but let's go ahead and go there. It lets me pick up. So I at least have 1 of the 3 nectars of any one type. So I'm at least at 5 victory points for trying to at least, or not 5 victory points, but 5 contest points to at least try to hit that 35 that I chose as my goal. So that was my forage action. Yeah, let's do the action of produce here. I'm gonna choose this spot. So it's gonna produce a honey here, a honey here, and a honey here. Oh my goodness. I'm just being sloppy, ain't I? All right, so that goes away. And then I have a market left to do. So I'm going to do the market action. I will choose to do this one, which is basically going to make me get rid of this, this, and this. Because I chose to do that one, I have a produce action to still do. All right, finish that one. We have a produce action we still got to do, so I'm going to produce again, and I'll do it on the 3 I just gave up. So they're going to produce, and produce, and produce, and then that goes away, and then all my actions are cleared off. We flip this over. Another one I'm probably not gonna be able to pull off unless I at least get 1 of those, which I'm close to getting 1. I guess I could, but I gotta have to make another space for it. All right, so we go to the drones. Oh, highest honey and pollen. What is? So it moves the pollen down in value and the highest honey. And then he's gonna move here. I'm gonna place my bee there to get this one. Yeah, I'm out the I think I'm just gonna start building a super spot up here for it. It's gonna take me a bit, but so that I didn't make an empty space, so that ends my turn. Rosemary. Don't really need the nearest rosemary nectar, so yeah, we can let that go. And then he's covering up the market spot. We'll place there. We're going to have to get to picking up these nectars before they disappear. We're going to place that one right there. I know I'm taking up a little bit of the board there, but we're going to do it anyways. And make a spot. So on here, since Since there's not one to flip over or do anything, now we mix it up. And shuffle the deck. It really sucks because after I do his turn here, I'm just going to have to pick up. Now I'm wishing I would have just got more workers. Just didn't seem like it. I didn't see it till now. Yep, first time playing. All right, here we go. Oh, sorry, it didn't show it, but it's Acacia. So I devalue it or get rid of the nearest one. I'm just going to devalue it. And then forage is his spot. So he's taking up the forage spot. And then, yep, we've already talked about my turn is going to be picking up or returning my workers. And then we go back to his turn, which is Wildflower. So devalue Wildflower, get rid of it. So I'm going to devalue Wildflower. And then he stays on the forage spot. Get a B. Nah. No. Yeah. I know. Instead, we're going to get the produce. We'll just do the produce. Maybe we just go, let's go ahead and start setting up a direction up here. So we're going to do that. Yes, that is my thing. Nothing else is going to happen. Sorry, I took all that back. All right, let's go to the drone. Highest honey and pollen. Boo. And since it's tied, I get to choose which one. I did it. I did a thing. All right. And then he's already on that spot. I'll go back to my turn. I was hoping he would move that one, but that didn't happen. Really don't want to do this, but it has to be done. I'll just choose this one. You have to do them if you can. So I did that. So I got things that have to be triggered. I have 1, 2. I have a decree or a market, a forage, and a produce. I mean, I have a newbie one also, but we're just going to put the newbie down. Newbie. Let's do the marketplace one first, just because we can. And the one I'm going to take is this one, which is these 2 honeys. And I have to trigger that. All right, so I got 2 forages and a produce I still have to do. I'll do the forage here. And since I didn't get anything and there's nothing there, I get a pollen. I'll do the forage from up here, moving me there, and I will pay an extra 2. Move an extra space. I will take that nectar, put it in there. All right, just got to do a produce. I mean, yeah, I'll choose this spot just so that I can fill those 2 honeys. And then that's my turn. We reveal. So it's definitely one that I can do. I just got to be able to produce one more of the cherry blossoms. All right, we go to his turn, or the drones. Rosemary. Oh, there's no nectar here, so there's no option. It just devalues the rosemary. And then he takes up the produce section. All right, we're gonna get that forage going again. All right, so since we finished those sections, Just got to do 2 forages. New bee, we'll go ahead and place him down. A forage. So we'll just forage twice. Well, let's do these actions right. Forage once. Not gonna do any. Not gonna pick that up. Get the pollen. Then we'll do the second forage action. Yeah, actually, we're gonna go ahead and pay the 2 and make that the first forage. The second forage will move. Yeah, I know. Get rid of my victory points. We're gonna go ahead and pick up this. It's all them, so it goes to him. Rosemary again. There is no nectar, so that has to devalue. And then he's taken up the market spot. I have nowhere I could place because I can't place where he's at, and I don't have any extras to do the beeline. So my turn's pretty simple. Picking returning workers. We go back to him. An order card. All right, we already talked about this. We knew an order card was going to go. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that order card. Yeah, because I can fulfill the other one if I necessarily have to. So, yep, we'll get rid of that order card. Back to the box. And then he's covering up the produce. And then we go back to the beginning of my next turn. Well, let's do it. All right, sorry, I just shifted the camera instead. Where I'm placing it is right here. So we got some actions that we have to trigger. We have a market. We have a forage. And I'm gonna go ahead and just do the other one, which is the accounting, which gives me 5. We have a forage, so I'm gonna move there. So we just do the forage, which moves there. And since I didn't do anything, I get another pollen. And then all we got left is a market to do. Oh, crud, I don't have a market to do. What was I thinking? Oh, well, I guess I'm selling pollen. If I sell rosemary, it's the same amount as pollen. Well, I get the same amount, but it does clear up some spots. So actually I will. I think I'm gonna go ahead. I don't need the rosemary. Being able to refill them, which I'm gonna have to do in order to fill that other one anyways. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So I get 3 and I sold 3, so I get 9. 9. And then that devalues his turn. Acacia. I'm fine with just getting rid of these. And then covers up the new bee. Yeah, we're gonna create a beeline. Get this. I'm gonna put this here. And that doesn't create anything, so that ends my turn. And the beeline was the thing I was talking about. I put 2 here. I had to in order to use it because I already had 1 there. So like if I wanted to use that on my next turn, I'd have to put 3 bees, which would be my whole next turn, but yeah. Cherry blossom. Devalue cherry blossom or get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of the one that I need, so that devalues cherry blossom. Market, he's going to take the market spot. That is what I'm doing. I'm going to place there to get this. Is that still on camera? The only thing I need to show is the little produce symbol because I'm going to do that. So I got a forage, I have a decree I need to do, I have a produce I need to do. I'll just go ahead and trigger the 5. Let's clean this up. I got a lot of things sitting over here. I got 10 and 2 5s to get the 20 here. Wait, yeah, I just took a 10 and 2 5s. Why would I do that? I would only need 15 to get that 20. Cheating myself. All right. I'll look back. All it's going to affect is my final score. I'm pretty sure, though, I just took a 10 and 2 5s to make a 20 before I forgot to get my 5. So If I didn't, I'll deduct it by 5. I want to play it safe. Well, I don't cheat. So let's forage. Gonna move him there. Take that nectar. That gives me 3 of the wildflowers. I'm going to use that decree to forage. Take that nectar. Place it there, which now gives me 3. So I at least finished that solo contest. I'm going to do a produce here because it gets me more honey. And we'll get, oh, these are stuck together. There we go. 1 of each of these honeys. Cool. That's my whole turn. Goes to him. Cherry Blossom. Oh, Cherry Blossom devalues because there isn't any on the board. And then he already covers up that spot. All right, so we're definitely running out of turns now. The way it works, if you don't get whatever you chose here for the points for the solo, then you just lose. Which I like, because I hate the solo games that are just, oh, just beat your score or just try to get the highest score. To me, that's not a solo game. You have to have a way that you can just lose. And that's what this designed very well, in my opinion, because it makes it to where, and this is a little rough on trying to figure that out, because it makes it to where I have to try to beat a certain thing, which I chose the pupa, or pupa, yeah. And when I chose that, it means I have to have 35 points in this. Right now I have 15 from this one. So I got that one because I have 3 nectars of any one type, and I have 3 of those, so I get 15 for that. Right now, total orders, I'm at 4, so that gives me 5. I'm at 20. I have to have 35 by the stage that I chose. And right now, I'm getting -5 for empty spaces. Oh man, that's a hard decision. Yeah, I think that's my best play. So because I'm doing that, this and this have to be triggered. I'm just going to go ahead and do the ones that are already, which is 2 newbies. And the accounting giving me another 5. Then I got 2 forages, which are really going to just be moving around and getting some more pollen. So moving and moving, getting pollen and pollen, moving, oh, moving. Just in case I decide I want to pick that up for some reason. Pollen. And that's all my actions. So it goes to him, which he's going to get a reshuffle on his deck. We'll see. Interesting. That's a little harder than I thought it would be. All right, well that was one of the moves I kind of needed to happen. And then he's taking up the forage spot. Oh, let's do what we had to do. So I'm taking this one. Yeah, I think I just do it. Let's just do it. Like I said, first time playing, learning experience. Here we go. So we got things we're gonna have a forage, we're gonna have produce, and we're gonna have a market. Let's go ahead and do the market because we already know what we're doing. We're gonna do this one. Oh, we're just gonna trigger another, well, it's just gonna give me more stuff. So let's go put a forage on there. So we gotta get rid of this one. Might as well get rid of this one because get rid of those. And let's go ahead and do this forage. Don't matter, we're just flying around to get pollen. I'm assuming I just keep doing that. I just feel like the resources would eventually run out, but I guess not. All right, we're just gonna produce somewhere. Wish I knew what that bottom one was so I could just produce. I guess just in case I need to trigger another produce, let's choose here. Because if anything, I can choose one of these, which might give me some more stuff. So, yep. Let's get that. Let's get that. Oh, wrong one. And that. All right, that's all my actions. Let's go to his. Oh, well, no, we trigger or we flip this. I do have those, so I can get. Oh, I did move here. And I have 1, 2, 3. I'm still in the -5 at 25. I got to find a way. If I get that last one, yeah, I just got to get that last one and make another open cell. Fortunately, I'm going to need 2 turns to do it. Oh, really? Yep. Yep, never mind. Well, I get one more turn, but it's going to be the pickup turn, so I ain't really going to do much. So, yep, lost the game because Highest Honey and Pollen moved down. He takes up the market spot, which is the one I was going to need anyways. I get one more turn. Thing is, I have no bees to place, so I pick up my bees. They return. Boo. Boo on you. Have all these bees. That was my turn. We checked to see how I did in the solo contest, which I have 3. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I guess he was gonna. Is there something I could have done since he moved there? I guess on my last turn I could have placed here. I would have lost 5 victory points, but I could have got this decree and just placed it there because all I needed to do was just pick up that last one and get 5 victory points. Yeah. So I could have placed it anywhere here. Yep, and that definitely would have given me move down there because I would have another empty cell. Just making sure 1, 2, yep, 3 empty cells, 0 to 3, -5 points. 5 total orders, which I have. Give me 10. I have 3 nectars of any one type, and I have 3 of those because I have the wildflower, the rosemary, and the cherry blossom. So 15, 25. I chose pupa, which was I had to have 35 there. Since I don't have 35 there, I lose. So that was interesting. I am curious what my final score would have been, just so that I kind of know. So we'll go ahead and just add that up. So I chose the one in the middle, which was 35. Man, I'm glad I didn't choose adult. I wouldn't have been close on adult. All right, anyways, just so we could see where I would have been at victory point wise. So add up the coins first. 20, 25, 32, 33, 34. Honey and pollen. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 44, 1, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So I'll lose 5, so 41. Well, that's resisted score because I didn't do it, but say it would have been 41, 51, 61, 66. And then my orders, 76, 85, sorry. 93, 107. So according to that, I would have been about in the middle. Apiculture expert. But I lost. Now let's see. There was one thing that felt a little weird to me. There is something I did wrong. Well, see, it just felt weird to me because it felt like, man, that turn when you got to pick up, the thing I did wrong that I see now, think it would have made a difference. I mean, yeah, I may not have taken certain things, but when you pick up, you get 1 movement on here for free, but it doesn't make a difference. Like you can't, like other than moving, I guess just to get you closer to something, so you don't need the forged ones as much as I was taking them probably, because it lets you move, but you don't get to pick up anything. You don't get pollen. You don't get to get the tile that you landed on or anything like that. You're just moving them. And the thing that made me look that up was just, there was something weird in the advanced when I was reading, when I flipped through and was reading, because it was like you could scout, and I was like, what's scouting mean? And that's basically what it is when you pick up, that's you scouting. So, because in the advanced, you play with the other side and the nectars are face down, and that's where the memory thing is, like I talked about. So like when you're picking up, you get to look at one of them, and basically that's when you get to figure out where you need to build to and stuff. So I think that would be interesting for sure. And I think the starting stuff. But yeah, it was cool. I'm impressed with the Elf Creek games so far. I need to look at what else they've done before, because they didn't hit on my radar until Atlantis Rising, and this one definitely triggered high on my radar. So next time I will win. Next time will be different. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed that. I'll see if I missed anything else in the as I'm editing. There is, I mean, I'll look at that thing, but it didn't matter because score-wise, I didn't score because I lost. But we'll definitely look into it. If you liked watching this playthrough, be sure to hit the like button. That way it gets seen by more people and they can see it. It'll come up more on their playthrough stuff. Make sure to, like I said, like it, subscribe, and please put something in the comments to let me know if there's something that you'd like to see me change. I am working on getting more cameras to where we could do more stuff, to where I could zoom in a lot more. That is one of the changes I want to make for sure. Also, putting me on camera. I will admit there's some small issues with that. Just really more of, one, I'd rather put camera on more of the gameplay. And then two, I do edit out a lot of me just sitting and thinking. So there'll be a lot of cuts of that if that happens. Or like when I gotta take the dog out or something like that. But anyways, yeah, click like, subscribe, hit that bell so you can know when I'm making videos. Of course, like I said, as of right now, I am putting videos up every day, but eventually I am gonna have to do a schedule where it's gonna show what days I put up what videos and whatnot. But yeah, this was cool. I do plan on continuing to do this solo line. I'm even looking at doing some solos that for games that don't normally have solos, and trying out some of the variant solos and stuff like that. So, yep. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.